You open your laptop. You have one task to do. You close it again. Instead, you clean your desk. You watch one more video. You tell yourself you're lazy. But the real answer is far stranger. Your brain isn't broken when you procrastinate. It's running a system that kept your ancestors alive for 300,000 years. And that system can't tell the difference between an unfinished email and a predator in the grass. You have two systems fighting for control every time you face a hard task. One is old. It's called the limbic system, and it runs on emotion. It wants comfort right now. The other is new, evolutionarily speaking. It's your prefrontal cortex. It handles logic and long-term planning. The limbic system almost always wins first. Why would evolution build you this way? 20,000 years ago, immediate action saved your life. Long-term planning was a luxury. Short-term survival was the whole game. Psychologist Piers Steel studied procrastination across thousands of people. He found it wasn't correlated with laziness. It was correlated with low tolerance for negative emotion. You're not avoiding the task. You're avoiding the feeling it creates. Think about the last thing you procrastinated on. Was it actually hard, or did it just feel uncomfortable to start? Your brain treats that discomfort like a threat. It activates the amygdala, the same region that lights up when you sense danger. A boring spreadsheet and a snake in the grass trigger overlapping circuitry. So you avoid it. You scroll instead. You tell yourself you'll start after lunch, and for a few minutes it works. The discomfort disappears, but it always comes back, usually worse. Researcher Fushia Sirowa found that people procrastinate to repair their mood in the moment, even knowing it will cost them later. You are consciously trading your future for your present, while narrating your own guilt about it in real time. Why would your brain do something it knows is bad for you? Because for most of human history, later barely existed. Life was immediate. Eat now. Rest now. Avoid pain now. The humans who prioritized the present survived long enough to pass that instinct on. You inherited it. All of it. That's not a flaw. It's a strategy that worked for a very long time. But the world changed faster than your brain could. You no longer face predators. You face emails and deadlines. None of them will kill you tomorrow, but your nervous system still reacts as if they might. This is called temporal discounting. Economist George Ainsley showed that people consistently choose smaller rewards now over larger ones later, even when the math clearly favors waiting. Nearness beats logic almost every time. That's why a deadline 3 weeks away feels invisible but becomes an emergency the night before it's due. Nothing about the task changed, only your perception of its distance did. So, what does this mean for you, sitting there right now, avoiding whatever you're avoiding? The guilt you feel isn't useful information. It's an old alarm misfiring in a modern context. Here's the twist almost nobody talks about. The people who beat procrastination aren't the ones with more willpower. Willpower is finite, and relying on it eventually fails everyone. They're the ones who shrink the discomfort instead of fighting it. A 2-minute version of the task. One sentence instead of the whole email. Small enough that the ancient alarm never activates. Once you begin, the prefrontal cortex quietly takes back control. Momentum builds. The task that felt unbearable 90 seconds ago now feels almost automatic. You weren't lazy. You were stuck at the starting line where the alarm is loudest. Think about how many things you've delayed, not because they were difficult, but because starting them felt heavy. None of those things were dangerous. Your body just reacted as if they were. And every time you gave in, you weren't failing. You were behaving exactly like a human being wired by instincts written into you long before deadlines existed. That doesn't mean you're powerless. It means the fight was never about discipline. It was about understanding the ancient machinery running underneath your modern life. Tonight, you might open that laptop again. You might feel that same pull to close it, but now you know what that pull actually is. Not laziness, not weakness. Just an old survival system still trying to protect you from a threat that stopped being real a long time ago. You open your laptop. You have one task to do. This time, you understand exactly why closing it again feels so tempting. And that understanding is the first step toward not doing it.